Today, we're helping you age powerfully so you can take control of your health span, not just your lifespan. Celebrity fitness and nutrition expert JJ Virgin is sharing what you need to know to maintain your strength, health, and age independently.
From the Stream Center, welcome to Bloom Health Club, sponsored by Monticello Family and Sedation Dentistry.
I'm your host, Gayle Guyardo. I'm with triple board certified nutritionist, fitness Hall of Famer, and 4-time New York Times bestselling author, JJ Virgin, who is known for helping people age powerfully. JJ, it's great to have you back in Bloom Health Club. And was it 12 books you wrote or 4? So many books.
7. You know what's interesting? You talked health span and lifespan. There's now strength span.
Is there?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
And JJ is so motivating. Like it's been transformative just knowing her and the changes that I've experienced. And so what I want to do right now is introduce our director, Terrence Middlebrooks, who's also going to be switching the show and jumping in with some questions. It's good to see you, my friend.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Gayle.
All right, so let's talk strength. I love it because when I first started Bloom, the syndicated health and wellness show, I was in my early 50s. It has been transformative following advice from experts like yourself, specifically your advice. I have seen some massive changes. So what are some of the greatest health trends when it comes to strength span?
You're like a fine wine. Isn't that so
Yes.
exciting? Like you just keep getting better and better and better. And I think that's an important thing because if you listen to the kind of chatter out there, you start to think, oh my gosh, it's all downhill from here. And it actually doesn't have to be. I don't believe that we are losing muscle because we're aging. I think we're aging because we're losing muscle. So what that means is that you can really turn all this around. And that's why I talk about aging powerfully. Right?
Yeah.
Instead of gracefully, forget that.
Yeah, no, take the grace out of this. And you are a fitness Hall of Famer. And so that's obviously very important. And right here, you're showing me exercises and movements that we should be doing so that we can live our everyday life. So while stagnant weightlifting might be able to help, you're all about the mobility. You're about grip strength. You're about building muscles so that you can really age powerfully, which is so incredibly important.
There's a lot to unpack there. So here's the thing. So as we age, left unchecked, we're going to lose muscle size, but we're going to lose twice as much strength and 3 times as much power. What is the difference? Muscle size is obvious. You flex your bicep, you see your bicep muscle. The strength is how much you can move something or squeeze something one time, and the power is how quickly you can do this. So you've got that going on. The other side of it is your mobility, your stability, your flexibility, your balance. And all of these things matter, and truly use it or lose it, right? Mm-hmm. Right? And that's why, honestly, when I was in grad school, I kind of felt like the peasant of the health world as a personal trainer, because everyone was like, oh, it's nutrition, oh, it's hormones, oh, it's medicine. And now we know in longevity, the single biggest driver for improving your health span and strength span is exercise, hands down. But exercise is a huge term. So it's like, well, what are the things we should be doing?
Yeah, and what are the things that we should be doing?
I'm so glad you asked that. So here's the important thing, because it can get super confusing. Anything is better than nothing. So what's the most important thing? Something. And the most important thing about the something is that you'll do the something consistently, because going to the gym one time does nothing, right? So the first thing is just commit that you're going to start doing something consistently, because any movement's better than nothing. And I want to say that because so many people hear all this and they go, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not going to do anything. Right? So if all you did was start walking and you walk consistently every day, that's a whole lot better than not walking.
What about that rucking vest that you put on me? Are you a believer in that? I mean, you always tell me everything first, and now I'm seeing it all over social media.
Okay, it's so funny. I got called out as a grifter on social media for suggesting people use a rucking vest. I go, what have we gotten to? I'm getting hated and shamed because of telling people to use a rucking vest, because it's being overblown. Okay, so here's the value of a rucking vest. Is it going to help you get more muscle? No, it's lightweight that you're moving around with. Could it potentially load your joints a little bit and help low with bone mineral density? Potentially. Still looking for the research on that. But could it help you burn more calories throughout the day? Absolutely. And here's what we know about your metabolism. So we have your total daily energy expenditure, right? Of that, there's three components. There's your resting metabolic rate. The only real way to change that one is put more muscle on, which we want you to do. It's one of the reasons we start to gain weight over time is we're losing muscle and our resting metabolic rate is slowing down. The next thing is the thermic effect of food. Well, what do you need to do there? Eat more protein. But the third one is activity. And in activity, there's two types. There's that concentrated exercise you're going to do, which accounts for a very small amount of it. It's actually the rest that accounts for the majority of it, called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Moving around, moving more, taking the stairs, fidgeting, all of it matters. And so how could we up that? We could up that just by putting a weighted vest on. Could be 5 or 10 pounds that you wear around the house, maybe for an hour or two. Could make a big difference over time. Is it going to make a big difference in a day? No, nothing does. It's always the consistency over time. So I would challenge you, especially if someone is losing some body fat, they get this adaptation where they need less calories to sustain their new weight. But if you put a weighted vest on, you're gonna offset that a little bit.
All right, now let's. Terrence,
Well, I'm
I
sorry.
know when he slides in, he's got a question. What's going on, my friend?
So I do work out regularly, but I do also hear a lot from women about lifting weights. When you're talking about lifting weights, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I don't want to look all big and muscular." So what's your take on that?
Yeah, don't take steroids. You'll be good. So here's the crazy thing about muscle hypertrophy. Here's the reality. Putting on muscle is like watching grass grow. It is really difficult to do. If you are fortunate in working really hard, you'd put on about 1 pound of muscle a month. You might put on a little bit more after the first 6 months, but called newbie gains. But after that, it's really about 1 pound a month if you're really working hard. And the closer you get to where your genetic potential is, the less it is. It's really hard to put any on. So for a woman saying, I'm afraid I'm going to get big, the only women I've ever seen get big are the women not lifting weights who are sitting on the couch. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm going to say it like it is. But it's like lifting weights. Here's the reality with muscle mass. Muscle is your metabolic Spanx. Muscle holds everything in tighter. And so you're going to have that toned look. Everybody wants that toned look. You know what that is? That's muscle. That's muscle mass. That's what it is. It's not some special muscle. It's muscle, when you build it, has this partial contraction called tone. So put on muscle, you'll have tone. So besides that, you're also going to have that better resting metabolic rate because muscle requires a little more energy to be on your body. It's not dramatic. People are like 100 more calories for each pound. No, it's like 10, but it makes difference over time. And then it also improves your insulin sensitivity. So your body is better at using fat for fuel, and muscle also provides a place for carbohydrates to go rather than as belly fat. Muscle gives your carbs a better place to land because it's like a sugar sponge where you can store carbs for future energy as glycogen.
All right, let's talk about things besides steroids because we do not want to bulk up. Besides roids, there are things that you do recommend to help
Yes.
women and men build muscle, but specifically you have a product out that is for women, Sheatine.
So here's the thing. It is really hard to put on muscle. Anything that we could possibly do to support this, we want to do. And so I'm going to give you a couple different things that I love. Number one, creatine HCl, which I made a product for women called Sheatine to get them out of their own way with creatine. Oh my gosh, and I used to not take it either because when I used to train people down at Gold's Gym in Venice 35 years ago, all the dudes were on creatine. They were all big, but they were also on steroids.
Yeah.
So creatine I actually think is more important for women because we tend to have less tissue stores of it because we have less muscle mass, and we also are not eating as much meat as men, and especially not rare meat. So we're not getting what we need from our diet. It is so important for helping us work out harder, recover better, and also super important for brain energy. It's not going to make your muscles bigger. It's going to make it easier for you to work out harder and recover. The thing that can help with muscle protein synthesis is that Fortitropin I talked to you about, the yoked product you have sitting at home.
I know.
What the heck?
Well, you
Get
gave
on
me a
it.
sample, and then I needed to order the actual. So I'm going to definitely order it because everything that I've done that you've told me to do has been, a game changer.
I only
for
tell you
me.
stuff that I know that work because I did it myself. That one I have a code for too.
Okay. All right.
And
I'm
then,
gonna get that from you.
So the things that I love, Sheatine, I think absolutely game changer because it's going to help you work out harder and recover better. Especially as we age, we tend to become more inflammatory and we have trouble recovering. So this can help with that. And then this yolked product actually helps block myostatin that goes up as we age, so that it's easier for us to build muscle. So that's a big one.
So myostatin is something.
Myostatin, as we age, we have two hormones that are counteract each other. We have myostatin and follistatin. You might have heard of these crazy people like Brian Johnson going and getting follistatin injections. It helps you build muscle. I'm like, myostatin is this thing that blocks muscle protein synthesis. It increases as we age.
Okay.
You don't want that. That's not good. So anything that can lower myostatin again is a good thing. Now, the other thing that I love, and it's not going to help you build muscle per se. The biggest thing that's going to help you build muscle is actually doing the work. You can't build muscle by taking things and sitting on the couch. You need to actually do the work, right? That's the number one biggest stimulus. You have to have the things to support it, like good quality protein, and that's where that egg yolk, it's not a protein, but can help there. But I also love collagen, not for the muscle piece, because that's not what you're using for muscle. It's for the joints. And one of the limiting factors for how well you can work out are your joints, your soft tissue. And so it can help with your soft tissue. So I actually take collagen before I go to the gym because I know I have more blood flow going to my joints. Those are low blood flow areas, and that I might get some better support with the collagen I just took. So that's one of the other hacks.
Way to
I
bury
do.
the lead, JJ. I've been taking your collagen and I've been putting it in my protein shake that I drink at lunch. You're saying drink it before the gym.
Yes, do that one before.
Okay.
Do that before. Some new research just came out about that one. So that's where that came from.
Okay.
Like before the gym, I go in, and creatine, it's not as big of a deal because it really is getting your tissue stores up. But I still, when I'm going to the gym, I like to do some collagen. I generally do it in my coffee. Then I'll do some, and this is if I'm fasted.
Okay.
If I'm going in fasted, I take my sheatine, essential amino acids, electrolytes in a big water bottle, and I throw a little bit of this Peak Life Pure green tea.
Really?
Oh, it's really, because green tea has got some amazing benefits, and this is like this really amazing fermented green tea. So that's another one.
For the men out there that's listening and watching, JJ, do you recommend the same dosage for them? Those that are not on steroids.
So yes, which is nearly everybody. They're not, the ones on steroids are at the gym right now yelling at other people. So they're not paying attention.
Slim and heavy
throwing
weights.
things,
Yeah.
yelling. I literally, when I worked out at Gold Gym in Venice, these guys would be screaming, yelling.
Yeah.
I watched one bounce a huge barbell off his chest, except it didn't bounce. It actually
no.
crashed his sternum, and they
my
had to
goodness.
call. Yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff down there. So yes, you might just up your dosage a little bit if you're bigger. So creatine is really based on body size.
Yes.
So depending on, and also your diet. I mean, you're using these things. The reason I think creatine is so important is this is something we probably got in our diet 1,000 years ago that we're not getting now. Because if you think about it, we make about 1 gram a day, and then we need to get another 1 gram or 2 a day. If you're under stress or hard work, you need more. And you get it from raw or rare meat. Well,
Okay.
We're not eating that.
and really you'd need about 1 pound or 2 of raw or rare meat if it's cooked twice as much. No one's getting this. I mean, the men on carnivore diets might be, but the rest of us aren't.
That's super interesting.
Is it important to know what your creatine level is before you start taking it?
No, there's really, this is a hard one to tell.
Yeah.
One way you might tell, now here's the big, there's a lot of myths out there about creatine. There's a myth that it causes hair loss. This was an old soccer player study. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Old soccer player study where they didn't have any hair loss problems. They just saw DHT go up, but they didn't know if it was because these guys were dosing themselves with testosterone or the creatine. And from that one time, all this hoo-ha has been out there. There's never been a case of hair loss cited. So there's that. There's the thing of it's hard for on your kidneys. It's
Yep.
not.
What?
So here's the issue. Creatine breaks down into creatinine.
Okay.
It's why you don't want to put creatine in your water and drink it the next day. It'll break down by then. And it's why a lot of the creatine gummies can be problematic because they actually will start to break down into creatinine. So put it in your water, drink it in the next couple of hours. Don't let it sit for a day. If you do too much creatine, you might see some elevated creatinine. That's just your body getting rid of it. The only time it would be an issue if you saw other kidney markers going up. It's not an issue. It does not hurt your kidneys. In fact, just like protein, they're showing the opposite, that more protein, more creatine actually is good, not bad.
Can I tell you something that I noticed? And I think a lot of women especially steer away from creatine because they feel like they're going to gain weight. What I noticed is I drink a lot of water with it. I'm constantly staying hydrated. Maybe I did see a couple pounds, but not in the way that my clothes fit. And the other thing that I thought was really beneficial is as I age and I lose weight or try to stay at a certain weight, my skin starts to get saggy. And I noticed when I started taking the creatine, it didn't. Like it stayed a little bit more
Just
taut.
wait.
Really?
Just wait. So I have.
Okay.
In fact, you'll see, because Kim, who's coming tonight, has been helping me with this. I have creatine sculpt cream coming out. Oh. I know. So here's the reality with creatine. It's great for your skin. It's great for wrinkles, crepey skin, and cellulite.
Yeah.
The minute I heard that, I'm like, oh.
Is that little sample thing that you told me to? So you told me it was.
Have you been using it?
I have, and where I've been
I
using
use it on my arms.
I use it on my saggy knees, and you notice it. Like I don't have cellulite, which I know you said it could work for that, but I do have some saggy skin, and I've been using it on the knees. And you said to use it as a sample.
Yeah.
I did take pictures. I've been kind of following it. So you're saying that it's transdermal. Our bodies will use it in a way for tighter skin.
Skin to sieve. So it's actually amazing for like thighs. I still remember the first time I was doing a down dog with shorts, and I was like in my late 30s. I went, what is that? Like, what is that? Whose legs are those? Those
Right.
are not mine. When did that skin start taking like a nosedive off my thighs
Right.
like that? Yeah. So that's what it will help for. So selfishly, I made it for that on my front of my thighs and on my arms. But yeah, it's for crepey skin, for cellulite, for any of that stuff. But it's internal will help and external will help. So it all helps. Now, here's the thing with creatine. It's osmotic. Ideally, you would bring a little fluid into your muscles. Remember, your muscles store carbohydrates and water in them. Mm-hmm. It makes them look better, more full. Swole is what they say, right? If you are taking creatine that's not well absorbed like a monohydrate, you might also get extracellular fluid retention and some GI issues. That's the stuff you don't want. You do want it in your muscles. Generally, what you'll see with people, if they're lucky enough to have that happen, is like a half a pound. It's like it's hard to do. You might see over the course of a month or two actually putting on more muscle mass. That's fantastic. So that's why it's so important to not monitor your weight, but to monitor what your weight's made up of. Because if you're just monitoring your weight, how the heck do you know? If you're monitoring your total body water and you see that your weight's staying the same or your weight went up a little bit, but your total body water jumped up, that's fantastic. That means your fat-free mass is going up, that you're improving your overall body composition, and likely you'll see your body fat percentage going down as well. This is what we want. The last thing you want, like I literally have been spotting it everywhere, sarcopenic women.
Yes.
These women who've been dieting their whole lives, who are like, they just look like they're wasting away now because they're losing their muscle and they're just like these skinny, fat little bodies, and they're probably just getting on the scale going, oh, my weight looks great. And I'm like, you look like a walking skeleton.
Right.
It's frightening.
And I was going to ask you about the GLP-1 drugs and how if you're on those and you are losing weight, which, by the way, back when I didn't have my thyroid fixed or my hormones fixed, I tried the GLP-1 to lose weight. I lost a few pounds. It didn't work. Once everything else got into check, the weight started coming off and the workouts and the food plan was all working. But then I did start to notice exactly what you're describing. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh, hell no. I am not going to look like that. My skin was like, oh, it looked like it was like a horror movie, the way it was hanging off of me. So I'm like, no, I can't do that. I don't, that's not the look that I want. You look great in clothes, but not naked. And so what if you're taking a GLP-1? Would creatine be helpful in that? Or?
So here's what's interesting about GLP-1s. In the right dosage, they actually can lower myostatin and help you build muscle. That is why when I started to hear this whole hoopla about GLP-1s, I go, it's just because they're using them wrong. If you are using it at such a high dose that it blocks your appetite, so you're going to lose muscle, you're going to lose everything because you're not eating. And we know that a poorly designed diet, GLP-1 or not, causes 25 to 40% muscle loss, right? And that's devastating to your metabolism. That's why 95% of diets fail, is that reason alone. a smidge of a GLP-1 has a lot of really amazing effects. Neurocognitive effects, inflammatory effects, bone health effects, myostatin. So like all these amazing things, potentially autoimmune. There's all these amazing things. And if you were trying to lose it to help you lose fat, I would say the teensiest, like the minimal dose to where you take the food noise off, but you still have the hunger and you reduce the inflammation is where you'd want to be. And then, yes, you want to be doing the collagen. You want to be doing the yolk. You want to be doing the sheatine. You want to do all the other things that are going to support your, overall health. Like you wouldn't stop those things.
And you want to work out.
And here's the thing. All those things are to support great workouts. It's 75% or higher is the workout. It's not, everyone wants it to be the other, and the other needs to be there. But if you had to choose, I could either dial in my diet perfectly to have great muscle mass, or I could do the work at the gym. If you don't go to the gym, you're not going to have the muscle mass. You
Right.
can eat perfectly, you're not going to have the muscle mass.
And you need that muscle mass, especially as we age. All right, I think we have time for just a couple of questions. Terrence, would it be okay if I skipped to some of the first questions I know she's going to balk at? Can we go to Joan's question number 3?
Absolutely.
Because I pre-read her some
Am I
of the
gonna have a
questions. All right,
rant?
so Joan wants to know, what are some simple nutrient-dense meals that you would recommend for people who do not love cooking?
I don't know who really loves cooking. We have cooking down to this really simple thing. First of all, I got this oven called the Wonder Oven
Yeah?
from our place.
Oh, I have that.
I'm obsessed with this
Yes,
thing.
I
It's
have that
so
oven.
amazing. It's like the air fryer on steroids.
Yes.
And what's cool about it is no plastics.
Yes, that's why I bought it.
I know, and it's cute. It's
Yeah.
super cute. Get the large one. You can do your salmon in there, your chicken in there, your steak. So you can do any protein in there. So here's a simple one. Like, do a wild salmon, take some cauliflower and some lentils, some cauliflower lentils and mushrooms. I literally did this. So like this was dinner last night. Maybe some deep green leafies, a little olive oil, saute that up, put the salmon on top. That took like, the salmon in the Wonder Oven is 10 minutes. The other thing is like 5 minutes. That's nothing. So the simple thing is keep some great protein sources in your freezer, like we do pastured chicken thighs, wild salmon, wild sea bass, wild halibut, and some grass-fed New Yorks. Keep those in your freezer. Then get some fresh vegetables, have some things like lentils, and then have some olive oil and have cauliflower rice. And like, food is just easy.
It's easy. Can I tell you, because I did this just last night. I took a whole chicken. I come home with a whole chicken. Thank goodness I read some online instructions and remember to take the little packet of the
thing out
The
of the
thing,
middle.
yeah, whatever was stuffed up there, I took it out. I just like put some seasoning, rotisserie seasoning on it that was fresh, and a few herbs and some ghee butter I sprayed on it. That thing came out juicy. It was done in like 30 minutes, and by the time
You
I
did it in
had
the Wonder Oven?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 30
Seriously,
minutes.
the Wonder Oven.
It was wonderfully delicious. And then while that was cooking, which only took 30 minutes, I actually made some cauliflower that I put some white pepper on, some ghee butter, and a little bit of garlic powder. Delicious. And then, of course, the carrots. And that was our
It's
meal.
just about having great staples.
Yeah.
It's like olive oil, ghee,
Yeah.
some great seasonings. I'm into roasted carrots now too.
Me too. I love them.
In the Wonder Oven. So
yeah,
it's-
I know.
and roasted broccolini. I mean, little in the Wonder Oven. So yeah.
Is this special
Sponsored by the Wonder Oven.
Yeah.
Honestly, they should. I was like, I had the team ping them. I'm like, I love them so much. They're like ignoring me.
They are.
Hear that, our place? Come on.
Yeah, I have an Our Place pan, and I have the Wonder
know.
Oven, and I love it because I can make wonderful meals for my family.
Haha, wonderful. With the Wonder Oven.
She caught the pun. All right, how do folks catch you online? How do we follow you, JJ?
JJVirgin.com and Well Beyond 40.
Oh, I like that.
podcast.
I like that. Hey, Terrence, thanks so much for switching and joining the conversation. We love you. And speaking of sponsors that make it possible for us to bring in top experts like JJ Virgin, Monticello Family and Sedation Dentistry. And don't forget, you can watch our streaming show, Bloom Health Club, on Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku, Samsung TV, WFLA.com, and YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. See you next week on Bloom Health Club.